I could just freaking grip it and rip it! I've had my 2026 Tesla Model Y Juniper for 30 days now. But as someone who's driven a ton of electric cars, I'm gonna answer the big question. Did Tesla bring their A game with their latest Model Y refresh? I'll be reviewing the new Model Y on 3 categories. 1, performance and driving. 2, tech and features. And finally, value and practicality. Because we all want to know, is this the best electric SUV at a reasonable price? And Tesla missed some key upgrades, and yeah, we need to talk about it. Tesla claims their new suspension and steering is completely retuned for more comfort instead of pure performance, similar to the Model 3 refresh. But is it legit or a gimmick? Immediately when I drove it, I quickly noticed how well it absorbed the bumps and potholes compared to the previous generation without sacrificing handling. But I mean, I don't want to just say that the ride quality is good. I want to show you with my very own custom bobblehead doll. Does it look like me? I got it on Amazon. I drove both the old and new Model Y on the exact same route, same speed, same conditions, and right away you can see the difference. In the old Model Y, the bobblehead, bobbling everywhere. It's a firmer ride, but you feel every crack in the road. Oh! Now, check out the new suspension. It's way more composed. The bobblehead's just chilling, barely moving. So yeah, it's not just a small tweak. You feel and see the difference. And another thing that stood out, road noise. The new Model Y is way quieter. At 70 miles per hour, it was just 71 decibels. Whereas the old one, a noisy 79. Okay, I'm gonna park here. Am I too close? Oh yeah, I have this. Ah! Yeah, one thing a lot of people complain about is the range estimate in the old Model Y wasn't as good. It'll say you arrive with 46% to your destination, but you ended up arriving with only 40%. And yeah, there's a lot of factors like wind resistance, the type of tires you have on, if you ate a Chipotle burrito for lunch, because that thing is heavy. So I decided to go on a short 25-minute trip to test it. Both cars started at 47%. The new one arrived with 43%, whereas the old Model Y arrived with 40%. So the new Model Y range was actually better than predicted. Which reminds me, this video is sponsored by Magbak, but more on that later. And at first I thought the newly redesigned aerodynamic front bumper with that grille here, as well as the skull caps, was just a gimmick. But in my testing, it turns out it's pretty legit. So the new Model Y, on driving, handling, comfort alone, 10 out of 5. It's so much better than the previous generation. You have to test drive this bad boy. It is amazing. But what about features? Because there's this all new front bumper. The new light bar is split up into 3 pieces. It's not as bright as the Tesla Cybertruck light bar. And at the bottom, you have super bright matrix LED headlights. It's a huge bulb right here. No fog lights needed. It's bright enough. It looks great. And with the new Model Y refresh, you get a front-facing camera. So overall, the front is nice. So now we move on to the back of the Model Y. And I don't know. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think, because whenever I see this car on the road from a distance, I'm like, oh, that's a nice looking Prius. It's a Tesla? But when the light bar is on, it looks like 100 times better. There's a one-piece light bar here. It diffuses downwards, and it looks super legit. When you have that with the updated tail lights, with that Model 3 style design, it looks so good. So already the exterior looks great, but let's move on to the interior, where there's so many changes compared to the old Model Y. Coming into the new Model Y, it's completely different. Huh! There he is again. While it is very simple, it's still super clean and elegant. There's cloth, fabric everywhere, and they did that on purpose to absorb a ton of noise. You get a nice metal speaker grille, RGB wraparound lighting, dual pane glass front and rear, as well as much better seals. So when you close the door, it just sounds more premium. Ooh, that's nice. But more importantly, and I'm sorry Model 3 Highland refresh people out there, you get a turn signal stock in the new Model Y, and it feels great. It sounds great. Personally, for me, coming from a Model X yoke steering wheel, the Tesla Cybertruck, I'm used to pressing these buttons. So I'm constantly pressing this button right here, which turns on the windshield wipers. So for me personally, I would have been okay with having the buttons on there, but to each his own, I guess. And just like the Tesla Model X and S and the Model 3 refresh, there's no gear stalks and it's all done on the screen. But the second you put your seatbelt on, it says tap to activate drive. You go into drive. To park, you just push that button. And also they have a new feature where if you're in reverse, you just have to turn the steering wheel, stop, and it'll automatically go into drive for you. And one thing a lot of people don't know is once you're in drive, and this is super useful, especially if you don't have a gear stalk, to quickly go into park, instead of pressing this button, just take off your seatbelt. But one huge thing that separates this Model Y from the old Model Y is something we've been sitting under for about an hour now, and it's the all-new glass roof. They redid the tint. It's supposed to reject even more heat, but is it legit or a gimmick? I feel like the real way to test that is with this. I don't know if you guys saw this on TikTok. It's a viral ice cream. See how quickly it melts? The sun is so hot here. Definitely in the new Model Y, the roof tint is so much better than the old Model Y. I've been in here for a solid 5. I don't feel anything. I was supposed to see how long the ice cream took to melt in the new Model Y, but the next thing I knew, been a little over 5 minutes, 85.6 degrees on the side window. Roof tint, 83.6 degrees on the inside. So we're in the old Model Y now. This is the factory tint, so it looks darker. However, I can already feel the heat, and I've only been here for less than a minute because I'm getting 94.6 in the side glass here. On top, 90.3. That's a huge difference. So the roof tint on the new Model Y and all the glass, legit. Something special with the new Model Y, you also get a hands-free trunk that opens automatically. Automatic trunk that opens automatically. And 60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
Come on, why isn't it working? Let me get away real quick. That way I'm not in the system. Huzzah! Open! There we go. What? That's the problem. It works sometimes, doesn't work sometimes when I actually need it to work. But it does work sometimes, trust me. Hands-free! Even the trunk, they redid it. So now there's 2 motors instead of 1. Opens, closes better, nothing rattles, nothing shakes. Overall, it's a much more better secure vehicle. But another super cool thing is the automatic seat in the second row. It's not just press the button and the seats go down. The passenger seat goes forward so that this can lower completely down. Crazy, and then it goes back. Now, one question I did have though is what if someone is in one of the seats? Uh-oh. So it just stops, huh? That's pretty anticlimactic. I thought it would like launch me out into space or something. It even senses an object on the seat, yes, even something as delicate as an egg, and it stops folding so it doesn't crush it. Now, if you're coming from an older Model Y, you definitely have a parcel shelf. But now they have a cutout where you can place the parcel shelf. So I have it here, and I put it down here. Oh, shiza. That is another problem I realized because they lined everything with felt. Imagine if you have dogs. My dogs have not come in here yet because literally everything is a dog hair magnet. Even though it's supposed to be sound dampening, it is insane. In the second row, you also get a lot more headroom over here. You have the ability to recline the seats automatically with the button over here. It doesn't recline much, but it reclines more. Look at that. You also get a nice second row screen. You can watch Netflix, play games, all that stuff. It is much nicer back here. Overall, the front, the trunk, and the second row is pretty legit in the new Tesla Model Y. But I just feel like there's a couple key features that the Tesla Model Y missed on, and it could have been a great opportunity for Tesla. For example, I wish Tesla added just a few more features. A 120-volt outlet, it's in the Cybertruck and some other EVs, but the Model Y only has a USB-C port and cigarette outlets. You also have like a ton of cameras, front-facing camera, cameras here, here, everywhere, and yet you still don't have a 360 view panoramic monitor in the car. Yes, you have like a 360 visualization, a cartoon visualization, but it would have been nice to have actual images, actual video of a 360 view, maybe even like a curb rash alert detection system so you don't curb your wheels like they do in the Lucid Gravity. Which reminds me, if you have an older Tesla with the inductions or Uber turbine wheels, make sure to check out Magbak's Rimcase. It's a modular design and it fits with double-sided tape and clips, so if you damage one piece, you can easily replace replace it. It not only protects from future curb rash damage, but it also hides any old curb rash. But the best part is you can't even tell it's on. And as far as the miles go, new Model Y, 327 miles, which is okay, I guess. And they just announced the rear-wheel drive with 357 miles. But I mean, in this day and age, 350, 400, why can't we have more miles? Maybe make it a tad bit more expensive for an automatic front as well. So as far as features go, I'd have to give it a 4 out of 5 because the old Model Y already had a lot of the features everyone loved. I mean, it's still cool and definitely the best in the game, don't get me wrong. But I think a lot of people wanted to add more features to the new Model Y, like the automatic front, a power outlet, and it's something they still didn't include. But that's not all. There's a couple of unique menu changes that's only available in the new Tesla Model Y. Go to Dynamics, you can see they have a new option, deceleration reducer standard. They have this new traction control mode as well. They also have a new oscillation feature, moves the air vents automatically, which is super cool. And they kept the cell phone charging holders super low again like before, which is okay, but the problem is if I want to have my Waze open or if I want to look at a text message real quickly, it's like impossible to look at and much more dangerous, which is why I love my Magbak cell phone charger. I've had it on my old Model Y. They have it for the new Model Y as well. It sits perfectly molded with the screen, looks clean, holds the phone magnetically, and it's at the right angle. So when you do unlock it with Face ID, it's at the perfect height. And it's honestly something I use all the time. If you are interested, make sure you use my link in the description below for a discount. And with all the new Teslas, you have something called hardware 4 cameras, latest and greatest in full self-driving. And while it's not perfect, it's still pretty good. So overall, the tech on this new Model Y is super legit and it's definitely a 5 out of 5. But how about the value? Is it actually worth it? So the new Model Y, build quality compared to the old Model Y, night and day. So much better. Seal, panel gaps are good. The paint quality is amazing. I haven't had any real issues. But if there are any issues with your brand new Tesla Model Y, I mean, 50,000 mile warranty, it's really, really good. In our old Model Y, I think the only thing I had to buy was windshield washer fluid as well as a new 12-volt battery. One thing everyone forgets, and I think even Tesla forgets this at times, Tesla is not a luxury brand. Yes, their Model S and X are considered luxury prices. That's not luxury though, if you compare it to the competitors. But considering how this Model Y starts at $49,000 with 327 miles, and they just released the rear-wheel drive Model Y for almost $45,000 with 357 miles. Comparing it to one of its competitors, the Kia EV6 that starts at $43,000 with only 237 miles, or even an all-wheel drive Chevy Equinox, $40,000 with only 307 miles. With all the tech and features of the Model Y, it's actually a really good value. And if anyone is going to consider trading in your old Model Y, definitely test drive the new one. It's so much better. They're also going to have a 7-seater Model Y as well as a performance version. If you guys want a discount, make sure you use my referral link in the description. Look at that. Look how sexy that is. Little red rocket.